Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. A brand new scenario, Endless Dreams, has dropped, and with it comes brand new mechanics and gameplay. The map is now infested with clutters of special enemies, making a lot of teleportation towers and dungeons unavailable, and public crisis events as well. Not just that, but the way to getting important resources, such as crystals, has changed. So in this video, I'll dive into the mechanics of the new Endless Dream scenario. The first thing you'll notice is that after opening your map, you'll notice that there are dream zones all around it, which are essentially just all of the blue areas. So let's start with the dream zone mechanics. When you first enter a dream zone, you'll see that a timer of 15 minutes begins at the bottom of your screen. If you are still inside of a dream zone after those 15 minutes, you will instantly die. However, you can extend that duration by an extra 15 minutes after using a reality resetol. Now, reality resetols can be obtained by defeating eternal dreamers around the map, which will reward you one reality resetol for the first clear. Or the second way is by unlocking the mimetic reality anchor in the crafting section right here, and you'll unlock the formula to craft reality resetols. Now, once you are in a dream zone, there are 3 different area effects called nightmare specs, and they each have their different effects. The first one is lightning, which makes it so that there are lightning strikes around the map that can kill you. Then there's explosion, which makes it so that if you kill enemies or if you recall your deviation, they will explode and deal damage to surrounding units or people. And of course, there will also be explosions around the area. Then lastly, there is Evernight, which is what I want to dive into a bit more because that's a little more special than the others. So the way Evernight works is it'll restrict your vision, and you'll start building confusion stacks. The more confusion stacks you have, the more damage per second you'll take to your HP. And if your HP reaches 0, you instantly die. So the way to counter that is by 1, either going to these little light bulb plants, which reset your confusion stacks, or 2, you can unlock the reality anchor mimetics, which will allow you to craft a nightmare lantern that uses those light bulb plants to light up the area and make it so you don't start gaining confusion stacks. So these are the nightmare specs. Now onto the new resource called Sand of Clarity. This is the resource required to begin fights against eternal dreamers, deep dreamers, and light dreamers around the map, which I'll dive into later, but just for reference for now, deep dreamers look like this on the map, and eternal dreamers look like this. But Sand of Clarity is obtained via multiple ways. The first way is there will be clocks around the map that you can farm. Mining them will reward Sands of Clarity. The smaller it looks, the less Sand of Clarity you'll get. Now, some of them are sitting on top of sand towers, so you will actually have to build up to mine them, because the mineable thing is only the clock. Now, you will also notice that there will be morpher crates running around inside every dream zone. And the way to spot them is by seeing their white square footsteps. This is another way to obtain Sands of Clarity, as they drop 30 sands per kill. They are scattered around the dream zones, but your best bet to find them is near omens. They spawn a load of them in the areas around an omen, usually around, let's say, 15 to 25. Now, you will notice that you can also no longer obtain crystals by opening gear or weapon crates. And crystals are important resources needed to craft gear. So now, the usual way to get them is by going inside the dream zones. And the first way is by killing those same morpher crates that reward Sands of Clarity. They drop 2 to 3 crystals per kill, which is really nice. So if you want to farm crystals, then you should go under an omen location and start killing those morpher crates. Of course, the tier of the crystal that you're getting depends on the tier of the area of the map. Inside the dream zones, you will also notice that there are floating bubbles around, and they will also drop crystals. The way to get them is by either building up to them or using double jump drinks to reach them. Now do be careful to not build under them, because that sometimes straight up destroys them. So what I like to do is to just build higher near them, then fly over them and just let the auto take do its job. So this is the rundown on the new resources gathering and how the dream zones work. And now let's move on to how to unlock silos, monoliths, and teleporters. Starting with the silos, if you look at them on the map, for every silo, there will always be an eternal dreamer near it. And you also cannot teleport them due to them being under dream zone lockdown. And if you go to the silo itself, you also cannot start it. And the same will apply to monoliths and teleporters inside the Dream Zone. So how do you unlock them? Well, first of all, there are two types of enemies marked on the map. You've got the Eternal Dreamers, and you also have the Deep Dreamers. The Eternal Dreamers are marked with an eye symbol inside of a diamond, and the Deep Dreamers are marked with an arm sticking out of the TV. So essentially, if you wish to make a silo available, you will have to kill the Omen next to it. However, if you click on the Omen, you'll see that it is buffed by all of the nearby Deep Dreamers that display a square around them. And right here is where you'll see all of the listing of the buffs. So for instance, it's got the Lightning Nightmare spec, the Evernight Nightmare specs, the Explode Nightmare specs. It's also got Symbiosis, which is 10% damage reduction per stack. Here it's got 11, so this one's gonna have 90% damage reduction, and so on. So the easier way to do this, logically, would be to kill all of the Deep Dreamers that buff the Omen. However, Deep Dreamers can respawn, so that just makes it really annoying to do. So for the lower levels, what my server did is we just rallied everyone in the server, and we straight up just went to kill the Omen instead. Now, as a bonus tip, I would recommend setting up a camp outside of the Dream Zone, because if you're equipped with tier 2 and tier 3 gear to try to clear out a level 28 Omen that is buffed by like 10 Deep Dreamers around it, you will die at least once, and you cannot respawn inside of a Dream Zone. Now, after clearing an Omen next to a silo, it will unlock said silo. So on my server, we have killed the Eternal Dreamer secret servitor, which is right next to the Silo Sigma. And so Silo Sigma is available for us to do. The only problem is that it still technically counts as a Dream Zone due to another type of enemy, so we just simply cannot teleport to it yet. But essentially, after killing an Omen, you'll see that in its description, it says that Eternal Dreamer has transformed into an after image, which means that it just makes it to be repeatable content since it can drop keyword suffix mods. So if I click here and I take a look at challenge awards, you'll see that it says that it can drop keyword suffix mods. Now, as for monoliths, there will not be omens to them. However, at the exception of one monolith, which is the Avalanche monolith, but this one is not part of the Dream Zone, so it's unlocked the moment you start joining the server. But regardless, monoliths can also be inside Dream Zones, so what you have to do is to clear the Deep Dreamers that are next to them. And by the way, similarly to Omens, Deep Dreamers are buffed by all of the Light Dreamers around them. So logically, if you want to have an easier fight against the Deep Dreamer, then you'll have to clear all of the Light Dreamers around it. However, if you kill the Deep Dreamer without killing the Light Dreamers, then the monolith might still be locked if there is a Light Dreamer near the monolith. Now, I would like to add that sometimes the Light Dreamers can be invincible, but of course, that's just, a consequence of Endless Dreams still being in early access. But only after killing those does the monolith unlock. Now, I have been informed that the Deep Dreamers and Light Dreamers can respawn near monoliths, so do be wary of that. Now, if you struggle to locate where the Light Dreamers are, you can simply look at the sky, and if you see any words like this, then the Light Dreamer is right at that location. So if I take a look at this one, if I interact with it, you'll see that it is a Light Dreamer. Lastly, there is also a new special shop in this scenario offered by Miss Memory. She will spawn in Dream Zones, and in exchange for reality fragments, which are obtained each time you kill Dreamers and eliminate Dream Zones, you can buy a special version of H37, mods, Stardust Source, memory fragments, and calibration blueprints. This is it for today's guide. If you learned anything or wish to see more Once Human guides, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications. If you still have any questions, then feel free to drop a comment down below. This is Mon, peace out.